2 free bottles of Prevagen. So when you buy 4, you'll get 2 bottles free. That's right, buy 4 and get 2 bottles free by calling this number, 888-519-0059. Shipping and processing will also be free. Today only, you can also receive a free copy of the Brain Health Guide with your order. So again, folks, this is a great offer. Do something good for yourself or someone you love. Do it for your family. You need to call right now, toll-free, 888-519-0059. Again, the number to call, 888-519-0059.
You've been listening to The Brain Health Show. This program is a paid advertisement for Prevagen, sponsored by Quincy Bioscience. The statements made in today's program have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hi, this is Jerry Hickey. Did you know that the best foods must interact with good digestive bacteria to improve your health? These good bacteria live in our intestines by the trillions, adding up to 2 pounds of biomass. Invite's Probiotic HX supplies 5 strains of the healthiest bacteria, and they are proven to culture and form colonies. Having the wrong bacteria contributes to flatulence, bloating, irregular bowel habits, and other aspects of poor health. Having the correct bacteria helps you thrive. You don't have to refrigerate the good bacteria in Probiotic HX, and you could take it with food. Simply take 1 capsule a day to support regularity and good digestion. Thousands of people are improving their health with Probiotic HX, and you can too. Take advantage of our special offer. Buy 1 bottle of Probiotic HX at 50% off retail. Double up for free shipping and a free gift. Contact Invite Health at 800-804-0973. Restore the natural balance and get healthy with Probiotic HX. Call 800-804-0973. That's 800-804-0973.
Talk 1470 WWNN Pompano Beach, Boca Raton, Miami, Fort Lauderdale. Download the iRadio Now app for iPhone or Android phones. Free at your iPhone App Store or Android App Market. Take AM 1470 WWNN with you wherever you go.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to the Golf and Travel Show, the place to fine-tune your swing, dress for the course, club, or cruise, and get tips on the best places to play and stay at the right price. Vacation or staycation, host Dan Schub, along with his expert co-hosts and guests, will tell you where to go. To play golf and vacation, that is. Now, here's Dan.
And welcome to the Golf and Travel Show. I'm your host, Dan Schub, and tonight we're going to do a little bit of what we always do and maybe some stuff that we don't always do. We're going to talk some golf and some apparel, women's apparel. Lately, that's all the rage. We're making equal time for the women. And we're also going to talk about some very unique and adventurous travel, and possibly maybe a few of my deals and some neat things that are going on in travel that I know about. Our first guest that we're going to be talking to in just a few minutes will be Tess Rogers, and Tess is the founder of AD Activewear, and she's got a new product called Hightail, and every woman who plays golf or travel probably wants one of these. It's specifically made for your ponytail in the back and your larger sunglasses in the front. And she also is celebrating, or at least contributing towards, Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and a portion of the proceeds from one hat that she has designed are going to benefit breast cancer. And we're going to talk to her in a little bit. And then later in the show, we will be talking to a guest that I'm really looking forward to speaking with, and that would be acclaimed travel journalist Richard Bangs. And he's authored over 1,000 travel articles. They're found in places like the Huffington Post. He also has written 19 books, produced a score of documentaries. He's currently producing and hosting a new PBS series called Richard Bangs Adventures with Purpose. And he goes on some crazy trips, and I stumbled on a trip that he recently took, and where you have an opportunity to come face to face with singing whales. And I was just amazed by the story. I was captivated by it, and I can't wait to hear firsthand from him and about some of his other travels. I think he's going halfway around the world in the next day or two, so that'll be pretty cool. And by the way, I didn't mention polar bears are with those whales too, so it's a really, really interesting story. But first, what I'd like to do is introduce my co-host, and of course, my co-host is Jess Frank. And he's PGA teaching professional, owner of the Jess Frank Golf Academy at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club right here in Boca Raton. And Jess specializes in on-course instruction with V1 video analysis because he believes that every lesson and swing is different. Jess likes to focus on the scoring part of your game, the short shots taught on the golf course, which instills plenty of confidence. You may know him from his work at area country clubs such as St. Andrews, Boca Laga, and Broken Sound. Jess loves to teach and has a passion for the game. Golf can be challenging if you haven't already noticed, but Jess makes it easy for you to learn and excel. And how are you doing tonight?
I am excellent, Dan, and another beautiful day here in sunny Boca Raton, and it looks like it's getting a little bit cooler out there. So it was a great day on the lesson tee. Still had the sun out, and but I'll tell you what, as it's getting into fall here, we are experiencing, as you get into the later parts of the day, just a beautiful day. So it was a lot of fun.
I've definitely noticed it's a little bit cooler.
Yes.
Cooler at night. It has been a tiny bit drier, so we're starting to get into the drier season. And less humidity, which is wonderful, of course.
Which is great. It's great, especially being out on the lesson tee, and you don't have to change your shirt 3 times during the day. But again, I don't mind it because of the fact is that, I don't have to shovel anything. It's pretty nice. But
and also, this is a great time for any of our listeners that are not local. Of course, we're fortunate to be here, but I guess we would say we're kind of heading into a shoulder season of some sorts where the weather is improving, yet it's not quite our peak season, so there's still, the cost of golf is still a little more reasonable. Hotels are a little bit more reasonable, and it's a good time to come visit us.
It is. It's a fantastic time to come visit us, and I know at Boca Dunes you can play there for very reasonable rates where I teach and have my academy, and definitely there are deals out there that can fit the budget of most any golfer. So it's nice to hear. So that's why I get a little bit, it's people say the game's too expensive. Well, I mean, if you go out and play, you can play Boca Dunes in the morning on a Sunday for $27. I mean, you can't go for movie and popcorn for $27 anymore.
This is true. Yeah. And for better or for worse, there's a lot of competition out there. Sure. And if you go to places like either South Florida or Myrtle Beach or places where there's a lot of golf courses, especially if it's not the height of the peak season, there are deals to be had. And, that's good for the golfers. I mean, again, if you own a golf course, maybe not quite as good. It's a little bit more difficult, and it's competitive, and it's,
But there's no excuse not to be playing, though, so it's definitely affordability. No excuse.
And of course, the owners of the golf courses would be happy if more people played more often, and that's where we have to spread the word that it's a good deal. Go out there and get it.
That's our job, and then it's my responsibility to
make sure that you enjoy it once you're out there.
Make sure they enjoy the game and they hit the ball better. So, I guess now is the time for a little
some pearls of wisdom.
To spread to our listeners.
Let me guess, is it something that you stumbled on while you were out there today that you just noticed something and you're going to share it?
Well, this is something I like to share, and something I've been doing for a long time. So I like to teach people that the golf swing happens very quickly, and as fast as you can clap your hands once, that's the golf swing is over. So if you can have just a back swing and a down swing and swinging the club back around to the left and finishing on balance, you're going to make a lot better shots. And that's the whole thing, is that to swing through the ball and finish on balance and swing it up over your left shoulder, that's very important. And so basically there's 2 lines, that your target line, which the ball sits on, and then your feet line, which is the body line and how the body moves. And so what I always like to do is, I work with a lot of players who top the ball or hit the ball out to the right, and so they always wonder, why am I doing this? And basically what happens is that if the club's swinging too much out to the right, it's becoming too shallow, which means that the bottom of the swing is probably a good 6 to 8 inches behind the ball. So they're actually swinging up on the ball, and they're missing it. And so that's why they get divots behind the ball, and they hit it thin and kind of weak. And so I try to explain to them, I said, you have two lines. You have the target line, and you have your body line. Now, most people think that the golf club, and the club head swing down the target line, which is incorrect, because since we're to the side of the golf ball, the club swings around on an arc and back to the left. And so when I start to explain this to people, what I do is I stand right on their body line, and I have them make little swings slowly, and I have them swing it all the way to me, and I'm going to hold the club, or, I have them swing it right to my body, and almost like feel like they're going to cut me right in half. And so that's
and for
your
my
visual.
Next trick.
Yeah, yeah, that's my visual. So basically what it does is it does so many good things. It has good weight transfer. The club face starts to square up better, and you're hitting down into the ball now. Now you create a little steepness into your swing where you're hitting down into the ball instead of trying to lift the ball up. And it really works out very well. And it's amazing when you tell people, then I'll stand on the target line. I'll say, sir, swing out to me. I'll be standing on the target line. And I said, now I'll stand behind them to their left. And I'll swing over here to the left. And lo and behold, they start hitting the golf ball a lot better, because now their weight transfers. They don't sit back on their back foot. And this is something that most golfers really could use and benefit from.
Okay, now I got a question for you, though.
Yes.
All right. Last week we were talking to our guest about putting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I tried to follow some of that. I couldn't figure it out. I'm using this long putter.
Right.
You think that I'm perfect. I think I have a long ways to go. You've seen me putt.
Yeah.
What's something that for anybody like me who maybe uses a belly putter or a long putter, is there some wisdom that you have for them?
Well, here's the thing. The putting also is in the count of a beat. So when you swing back and you swing through, if you focused on the front side part of the swing more than the back side, or looking at the head of the club, if you same thing with your follow through. If you allowed that club to swing around on an arc, and not straight down the target line, because that's what happens, is usually the putter head swings down the target line. So if you swing on an arc, that's going to make you, and all you think about is you have one thought. And the thought is to swing the club head back around to the left on the arc. That is going to improve your game. So what happens is you take the thought of trying to hit the ball to your finish. And so what happens as the club arcs around to the left, all you're doing is you're going to the left. It's not like you're trying to hit at the ball, or your hands are, so all you're doing is you're just moving. And it's okay. You can have a little bit of body movement with putting. It's okay. Most people say, keep your head still and keep your body still. And, but what happens is that then your hands start to take over. So when your hands take over, then you try to flip at your club head flips at the ball, and you can get the yips, and it's just it's pretty disastrous. However, there's another drill that I really like.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. bonus for putting. So if you're struggling with your putting,
I hope the listeners appreciate that I'm trying to get bonus tips from you tonight.
Yes. This is high value stuff, and it's a drill that Tiger Woods has used, Nick Faldo has used, Greg Norman has used, and these are all been number one players in the world for a very long time. And it is the right hand only putting stroke. And so if you put your left hand behind your back and you hold the putter just with your right hand, and all you do is you swing the putter head back and through, and with your right hand now, and just feel that motion, that's all you have to do, is just to work it back and forth, and that's going to relax your hand. It's going to you're going to be able to swing the putter head back and forth. And, like I said, if you have to move your body a little bit, move your body a little bit. But that is probably the best drill out there by far.
There you go. So there's a bonus tip and the regular tip. And what we're going to do is I think it's time to take a quick break, and we'll be back with more of the Golf and Travel Show in just a minute or two. Stay tuned. And we're back, and it's time for a message from one of our favorite sponsors, or my favorite sponsor. But, Jess, you're going to take the honors,
absolutely, right? Absolutely. And it's the home of the Just Frank Golf Academy. And it's at Boca Dunes Golf and Country Club, where it's a great place to play. It's located in Boca Raton with a par 72 championship course and a par 3 executive course, something for all skill levels. There's also a lighted driving range with practice areas and a snack shop open till 10 p.m. It's a great place to host a charity event or golf outing. Boca Dunes, with a full-service catering facility with all banquet rooms overlooking the golf course, it's a perfect place for weddings, bar mitzvahs, anniversary parties, and any other catered events you may need. If you're looking to get into the game of golf, there are also several teaching pros available for private or group lessons. Their friendly staff invites you to come see for yourself. So call the Pro Shop at 561-451-1600, extension 102 for information and tee times. You can also visit their website at bocadunes.com. That's bocadunes.com.
And we are back, and our guest, which will be coming up a little bit later in the show. I said we're going to do it a little bit different tonight. We're going to switch it up. Usually my deals come at the end of the show, but I think tonight we will talk about some deals, some steals, some strange places and weird events that are going on. And I've got a bunch of them. This first one is a place that actually I was talking to a buddy of mine at work about today, because we're planning an event in this town, and I can't think of a better place to be. I'm going to be there in February, I know, and then this other event that we're planning is possibly in the spring, maybe around May or June, and we thought of this place, and it's a hotel called Vdara. And Vdara is a all-suite property that's part of the City Center complex, which features places like the Mandarin Oriental and Aria and the Cosmopolitan, which is a great place, which we're going to talk about in a minute as well, about something that's going on there. But Jet Luxury Resorts manages some of the property. My guess is that, being that they're nice suites, that they're probably owned by somebody, has timeshares or condos or something, and then they're managed out. And they typically go for about $149 a night, which isn't bad because it's a relatively new property, a beautiful suite, very modern, and while they don't have a casino, you're right next door to several casinos, and you're in a beautiful place right on the Strip. But right now, if you go through JetLuxuryResorts.com, of course, they have a deal for $89 a night, which is really nice to be on a suite, right center Strip location.
It's a beautiful room, too.
It really is nice. It's like I say, I stayed there a couple of years ago. The only complaint that I had was the valet was a little bit slow. You had to wait for your car, and that happens a lot at Vegas properties. Sure. Although some of them do have self-parking, this place does not. So, bit of a drawback. But the cool part about it is you don't need a car. If you take a cab and you're right there on the center strip, you can get to anything you want on foot. And like I say, plenty of good casinos right within walking distance, and you just can't beat that price. So JetLuxuryResorts.com. They probably have a bunch of other deals there as well, but Vdara is the one that I recommend. And I mentioned just a second ago about the Cosmopolitan, and the Cosmopolitan is part of that same City Center, Las Vegas area. And I go there a lot for trade shows, with my job at Labor Finders. And that's my part-time job. This is really my big job here. But I get to go out there a lot. And last time I stayed right in that complex at an older property that I wasn't pleased with. But my brother-in-law came out with his wife, and they had a beautiful room at the Cosmopolitan. It had this gigantic balcony. It also was a suite. Very, very unique setup, very modern. And I've always liked their casino. I did spend some time in their casino there as well, because I stayed at a property that didn't have one. But Cosmopolitan, they're always trying to be on the cutting edge. And they just announced that on New Year's Eve that they are going to have a great show, and it's going to be Lady Gaga and Tony Bennett. And they just came out, of course, with an album together, which you might think it's an unlikely pairing, but they've done a couple of songs in the past that have been on compilation, with other duets. And they enjoyed each other's company so much. And I mean, talk about the odd couple. You know, who would have thought that?
She's amazing.
Well,
you know,
yeah.
I can't believe he's still kicking.
Well, she's trying to reinvent herself. He is, I guess, well into his 80s, 88 years old.
Yeah.
And he still is a prolific painter as well, just an incredible painter. He does lots of exhibits and stuff with his artwork, but a great singer, still relevant, still coming out with records. And the Cosmopolitan, their comment is that Las Vegas is very, very competitive, especially on a holiday like New Year's Eve. And they needed to do something that was very, very special and very, very different. And this is what they did. So I commend them for that. It's you know, a pretty cool deal. Also, let's get into some of the more interesting stuff. And we had mentioned earlier in the show that our next guest, who we're going to be talking with, Tess Rogers, she's got a product that does support for breast cancer, and it is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, so that's why we're going to be talking a little bit more about that subject this month, and especially today. But Sonoma County, which is a great place to visit. I was out there not that long ago, spent a little time in San Francisco, took a drive up to Sonoma. I'm not a huge wine connoisseur, but I tasted a little bit and went to some of the wineries. I've been to, some concerts out there that they have in the wineries, which it's a lot of fun. But they're celebrating Breast Cancer Awareness Month in their unique way and style. And this entire month, they've got some very, very cool things going on. We just missed, I guess, the Real Men Drink Pink event, so it's a little bit too late for that. But they've got some other events that haven't happened yet. Let's see. How about the whole month? They've got the Trioni Winery Thinks Pink for the Cure, and they're going to be featuring their Zinfandel and Primitivo, with a 15% of the total sales are going towards the fight against breast cancer. And there are some other cool events, right?
Definitely. There's the Notes of Hope, the Chateau St. Jean Winery, where it's Sheryl Crow and Chateau St. John are teaming up to fight breast cancer. And definitely, my favorite slogan for the Breast Cancer Awareness Month is "Save the Tatas." So that's I always seeing those shirts everywhere. I'm a big supporter. I mean,
big fan.
We definitely have to protect them.
A big fan.
Exactly.
And another cute event that's named kind of neat is Save Second Base.
Yeah,
that's the ever popular Save Second Base, and that's Thumbprint Cellars in a place called Heldsburg. I guess that's in the Sonoma area. Yeah. And they have a special deal going on that they have a Save Second Base bracelet, and the proceeds are going directly to the Avon Foundation for Women, and that's the entire month of October. And it's
too funny.
I think it's pretty cool, and the frambois for a cure is always nice, and that's at the Russian River Brewing Company.
Russian River. There you go.
So even for those who prefer to drink beer, there's something going on for them as well.
Russian River has unbelievable wines too. It's one of my favorites.
Fan, huh?
Oh yeah, big fan. But we had I'll tell you what, on more of a serious note, the EWGA tournament that I was beat the pro in last Sunday was raised a lot of money for breast cancer awareness, and it was pretty special to see ladies who have been directly affected by the funds raised by all these charities that they've really made strides and headway against this dreaded disease. And it's truly this lady who had stage 4 breast cancer. She's in remission now, and you would never, years ago that would never have happened.
It's all the money that they raise with these events and the month of awareness, and
but you might as well have fun with it. That's for sure.
I agree. Now, this next event, I don't know if it has anything to do with breast cancer awareness. It may have something to do with like just breast awareness. I don't know, but and again, for put the kids to sleep, because now we're going to talk about an adult event. So it is nighttime, so I think we're allowed to.
Are we a family show? I think so. Maybe.
Well, sometimes it depends on whose family you're talking about, I guess. But down in Key West, which is not that far from here, coming up soon, October 17th through the 26th, is a fantasy fest,
yes,
which happens every
Key
year.
West.
It's a crazy event down there. There's parades and parties, and
everybody gets painted up.
Everybody gets painted up, and they have a very, very cool theme this year. It is all animated, everything about animated, and it's inspired by traditional Japanese work and all forms of animation. There's up to 40 masquerade parties, costume contests, themed events are scheduled during the 10-day festival, and it all kind of culminates with the grand parade that they have. They even have for pets, there's a parade where people will dress up their pets as well. The headdress ball with prizes for the best masks and headdresses, and here we go. Here's the pet masquerade is on Wednesday. And everybody's going to be there with their pets, and I have a funny feeling that the pet owners will also be in full regalia.
I'm sure they will.
I guess that's an appropriate word for this event, full regalia. I mean, they say that you'll see people dressed as all sorts of cartoon characters as well, whether it's from TV, from movies. So anybody who, as a kid, was into cartoons and animation, or as an adult. But yeah, this is an event that I think it's definitely a little bit more for the adults out there than it would be for the children. And obviously Key West, it's a beautiful drive. You can fly into Key West if you want to, but your chances are most places you won't get a direct flight. No. But part of the fun really is the drive down there, taking that was it the 17-mile bridge or something?
17-mile bridge.
And so you could fly into Miami, you could fly into Fort Lauderdale, and rent a car and take a ride down into the Keys. And, it's amazing how you decompress. Your blood pressure goes down when you're just driving really over the water.
Yeah, and there's so many keys that you pass, that you could stop in. Isla Mirada.
Keys. You could be feeding the fish. You could find the key deer, which are really cool. The little deer that's indigenous pretty much only to the Keys, I guess.
Wow.
There's a lot going on. And, of course, key lime pie.
Oh. Yeah.
I mean,
no, just like the Red Stripe beer. It's all good.
There you go.
Yeah.
Now, another thing that I did want to briefly talk about, too, is I'm heading to New York again, for better or for worse. I'm going to go watch Peyton Manning destroy the Jets, and it won't be fun for me because I'm going to be on the short end of the deal, I believe. But so I'm heading up to New York, and we were briefly talking about New York and some of the cool places. And last time I was up there, I stayed at the Parker Meridian, which was just a lovely hotel. It overlooked Central Park. It was right near Times Square, Broadway. I did go to the theater while I was up there, and drove through Central Park. And obviously I used to live there many, many years ago, and I'm kind of glad I live here. But when I do get a chance to go back, there are certain places that I do like to check out. And there are places that I remember from back in the day when I was a youngster up there. And, one of the very cool places, and as a matter of fact, my wife worked for a long time in that building, and that was 30 Rock, which obviously is famous for the TV show. At the time, she worked for RCA, which owned NBC, and so she was up there, and that whole complex is a very, very, very cool place. I mean, I've ice skated there and eaten dinner at a seafood restaurant that they have that's overlooking the ice skating rink. It's just a very magical area. But one of the real cool places in that complex that has been open and closed over the years, but just an incredible history. It's a word described that they use is iconic, and that would be the Rainbow Room, which sits upstairs. And they just have had, I guess 80 years ago is when it first opened. They're celebrating kind of an 80th anniversary, I suppose. Wow. And it's reopened. It's been refurbished because again, it's been around so long. It's up on the 65th floor of 30 Rock. And on certain days now, they're going to be serving dinner. They're going to have brunch. They're going to have dancing. Monday nights is going to be a main night there where they're going to have some entertainment, and like I say, the brunch is just going to be lovely, and it's also going to be available for special functions. You can rent it out if you choose to, and have an event there. And like I said, I have been there.
Some famous
I don't want to
people.
say how long. Well, of course, me.
Yeah, you. Exactly. You're right alongside Elizabeth Taylor and Michael Jackson for sure. Why not?
Don't put me alongside of either one of them right now.
True. Yeah. No, that's true. No, you don't want to do that. Maybe Al Pacino or Barbra Streisand.
There you go. That would be fine. So yes, they've entertained just about everybody, and it's just if you want to impress your date, you take them to the Rainbow Room. So That's what I would recommend. All right, so that's what we have for some unique opportunities for travel, as well as some of Dan's deals. And in honor, of course, of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, in just another moment or so, we are going to talk to our special guest, and that would be Tess Rogers. And she's got this new product, and they're donating some of the proceeds to breast cancer, and it's just a really cool product as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break, and in just a minute or two,